let's move on to main topic number 2. And our second main topic today gets submitted to us by Damon Crawford, who writes, "Hey, John and gang. Love your show always. Thank you so much. Had a thought while watching Hulk and the Agents of Smash. Do you think with the She-Hulk series coming to Disney Plus, will they reintroduce the leader, Abomination, Betty Ross, Rick Jones into the show? Love to hear your thoughts, and Hulk out." All right, thanks a lot for sending that in, man. And that is, I think, honestly, a great question. Now, the world of fandom got turned on its ear a little while ago at D23 as they announced that Disney Plus was actually going to have a She-Hulk show, something that I fully admit I really didn't think they would do. I really didn't think they would do a derivative character off the Hulk like that. And people would ask me, you think we're going to see She-Hulk? I said, well, maybe in 10 years, but I don't really think they're going to do one now. And lo and behold, Kevin Feige comes out on stage. We're going to do She-Hulk on top of Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, and a bunch of other things too. But She-Hulk was one of those things. Another thing that's interesting to me is, as you go back to the last Hulk movie, we have these characters, Abomination, Betty Ross, we have the leader, which we caught at the end of the film, and never were they ever mentioned again. However, there is something interesting to keep in mind. And that interesting thing to keep in mind is this, is that Marvel and the MCU chose to remind us that Abomination and Blonsky is still out there. And they've done it a couple of subtle ways a couple of times. There was one of the MCU shorts that they did where there was that meeting in the diner and all that kind of stuff, and they directly mention and reference Blonsky is on the raft and in there. He's been mentioned and referenced on a couple of occasions. So they keep reminding us that Abomination is out there, right? I've always felt Abomination is still, even though they used him in one of the movies, I still believe he is an untapped gem, because as a villain, he presents any filmmaker with a really great foil as a tool. Like a really great tool, because he is just so menacing and powerful. There is any Avenger he can go toe-to-toe with. He can go toe-to-toe with any Avenger that they've got. He won't beat any Avenger that they've got out there, but he can give a fight to any Avenger out there. And I think what you will about the last Hulk movie, I loved the battle between Hulk and Abomination. I don't know why it's such a silly concept, but that scene when Hulk rips the car apart and then puts each half of the car on like boxing gloves and then goes and starts beating the piss out of I don't know, I was geeking out and jumping out of my chair. I believe he's a rich character. Of course, Leader, if you know much about the comics, Leader is an important figure in the Hulk mythology. Now, I'm not saying they executed the leader nearly as well as they executed, say, I thought they did a really good job with Blonsky, so they didn't do as good of a job with leader, but still he's there. And a big question a lot of people are asking, where the hell's Betty Ross? Where's Betty Ross? Where's Liv Tyler? Where is she? You know? And so I think with hearing the announcements, like on WandaVision, I believe they've announced that Two Broke Girls star, the girl from Thor and Thor 2.
Yeah.
Mew. Why am I forgetting her name?
It's Kat Dennings.
Kat Dennings. I love her, by the way. I think she's great. But they've announced that she's coming back. Randall Park, a.k.a. Asian Jim. He's coming back. So they're clearly going to be using these Disney Plus shows to bring back some other side characters from the movies. I'm going to tell you this, Rob. I will give a solid 60%. I believe 60% we will either see the return of, or a mention, or an appearance of Leader, Abomination, or Betty Ross. Betty Ross would be a great thing, because then you could have like a girl, you know, like some a really good female friendship on there, and that ties into the overall Hulk stuff. And anyway, I just think 60%, not a guarantee, but I think there's a very, very good chance we see these characters. Rob, what do you think the chances are, or the benefit of, or the downfall of, the idea of seeing an appearance of either Leader, Abomination, Betty Ross, some of those other characters? What do you think?
Oh, 100%. I mean, I think, look, one of the things that I think they found appealing about making a She-Hulk show is that character, you know, we've often talked about how the Marvel Cinematic Universe is made like Winter Soldier was a 70s political thriller, and the Ant-Man movies are like heist movies, and they're playing with genres. Well, what is one of the oldest, most venerable genres on TV? The lawyer show. People love lawyer shows, whether it's Boston Legal, whether it's LA Law, whether it's The Practice, which is part of Boston Legal, all of those things. People love lawyer shows. They love those procedural shows. And She-Hulk is a lawyer show. It's something that we've seen a long time. It's one of the Defenders. I used to love the Defenders when I was a kid, which has nothing to do with Marvel Comics, but it was a lawyer show. And I think even like the Paper Chase when kids were in law school. So making a lawyer procedural show is one of the great television genres. And then to add She-Hulk, who herself is a lawyer, you're going to do like an LA Law kind of a show, but with superheroes, which gives you the opportunity that you can bring these characters. Even Tim Roth has now been on a television series. Kat Dennings, obviously, TV series. These are people that aren't strangers to television. So for them to come back and do either guest stars or become recurring characters, it's a natural. Like, who wouldn't want to do that? And if they're doing these shorter seasons, whether it's 8 episodes or 10 episodes, they'll try things out and see what works. I think absolutely we would see. I mean, who thought William Hurt would come back? There's your direct tie-in. Thunderbolt Ross, I mean, that's a direct tie-in to the Hulk movie. And who's to say that they wouldn't? I think absolutely they've already got this rich, as you astutely pointed out, a rich tapestry of supporting characters that already tie back into the MCU that they're going to bring back that are going to delight fans. They're deep cuts. If the MCU can have deep cuts in them, these are kind of deep cuts already, because as that each movie comes out and doesn't have these characters, they get deeper and deeper back into Marvel history. I think it's a great idea, and it's a way that with the kind of budgets they're going to be able to muster for these shows, they can afford these actors. And like you said, actors want to come back and do, who wouldn't want to come back and do guest star roles where they can come back and work for a week and get a pretty decent sized paycheck and make everybody happy. Everybody wants to work. Bill Hurt's got to eat, John.
Yeah, he's got to eat too. So the question here is, guys, what do you think about that? Do you think that the new She-Hulk series is nope, clean slate, its own standalone thing? They're going to really, really reinforce its own independence as a series? Or do you think they'll take advantage of those tie-ins that tie it into the greater thing that's also a shared Hulk mythology stuff as well as with the MCU? And they're going to get the leader, they're going to get Blonsky, they're going to get, whoever else. Do you think they're going to do that? Jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right.